All right, guys, and welcome to Cat Calls, where you tell me your problems, I give you a call, and we try and solve them. My little disclaimer, as always, I'm not a medical professional, so all my advice is purely based on my own opinions and life experience and should not be taken as medical advice. All right, today we have another caller. Her name is Queen. Hi, Queen. How are you?
Hello?
Hi. Hi. Yeah,
Hello?
sorry. I think there's
Hello?
a delay in the internet there. I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Thank you for having me. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm very well, although a little bit hot because it's super sweaty where I am at the moment, but doing okay. How have you been? How are you doing during this pandemic time?
I'm not gonna lie, it's been really hard, but I'm thankful that I fought through it. Just hoping to get my shot already so I can have a little sense of normal, hopefully.
Right. I understand that everybody wants to go back to a bit of normalcy, right? I know that you do have a question for me that you wanted to ask.
Oh, so my question is how to be brave in the midst of adversity?
How to be brave in the midst of adversity. I mean, is it like just a generic general question here, or is there a specific thing that you're talking about in terms of being brave that you want to get into?
Well, I think it's more on something like personal that you know for yourself that you're brave and you got this. But the thing is, there are factors to certain things when you face or when you admit something about yourself.
So it's like being brave to face your own demons kind of thing. Is that what you mean?
More like being your authentic self.
Oh, okay. So like being authentically yourself in any situation and being brave enough to be yourself in any situation.
Yes, exactly. Perfect. Actually, yeah.
Okay, so I actually read something really interesting the other day. And I've been in the face of adversity a lot in my life. So I totally understand your question. And it can be difficult to be yourself, especially if you have pushback from other people who are trying to tell you that you're wrong, or or you're afraid to be the only person speaking the truth, and things like that. So I read this thing the other day that this guy wrote, and he said that fearlessness is not the absence of fear. Um, it's the presence of faith. Um, and I don't know if that helps, but it really helped me in a way because it was like, it's not about not being afraid to be yourself because everybody is afraid. It's just about knowing yourself in a way, and I think that that is actually something that a lot of people don't do. They don't get to know themselves in life anymore. They're so stuck on their phones. They're so stuck in their wanting to be somebody else or trying to be something, or wanting to be in a job or a relationship or a boyfriend or this or whatever it is. They forget that they need to learn in life how to be their authentic selves. And I feel like when you face adversity, when you have trials and problems and issues and things that come up over and over and up again in your life, you learn yourself. And people don't
Yeah.
like discomfort. They don't like to go through trials. They don't like tribulations because it's painful. It's hard. Breakups, exams or whatever it is, disasters, they don't like to face them because it makes them uncomfortable. But when you're uncomfortable is the only time that you know yourself the best. Like that is when you will know your strength.
That is
That's
true. Yeah.
when you will understand just how tough you really are. When you're comfortable at home and you're in your aircon and you're lying on your bed, you don't really know what kind of a person you are. You're just a person, right? But when you face adversity, that's when you really find out, like, wow, I'm actually really resilient. I'm actually really tough. I'm actually really brave. I'm actually really good at getting through things. I was actually really level headed and I'm really kind. And, that's when you start to really get to know yourself. And I think we forget to give ourselves credit for that as well. Like you have good traits that you should appreciate about yourself, not to be big headed or whatever, but just be proud of who you are. Like own yourself. Like as long as you're not hurting anybody else, own who you are. And I think that once you get that solid foundation of who you are in yourself through any kind of trials and tribulations, like what are your morals? what are your beliefs? What are your
Yeah,
foundations?
exactly.
What do you stand for? What is your like spiritual perspective? What you know what I mean? Where do you stand in the world of good and evil kind of thing? Are you a good guy? Are you a bad guy? Are you in between or whatever you are? Own it. Be that
Yeah.
best version of yourself. And no matter what comes your way, like once you really learn yourself, that's why life, we always rush things. We always want to be a grown up right away. We always want to be in our 30s. We want to be in our 40s. Oh my gosh, if I'm in my 50s, then you're old and you're like, I want to be a kid again. But when you get older and you go through so many things, like you stop caring. Like I'm in my 30s now, right? And when I was younger, I cared about everything. Like I think I hurt somebody's feelings, and oh, what if I said this and it was wrong? And now it's like I know myself. I know I'm a good person. I know I work hard. I know I support my family. I'm a mom. I'm all these things. I do all these things right. I'm an artist. I'm a singer. I'm a songwriter. I'm a producer, writer, blah, 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 all these things. And I know myself. I'm still getting to know myself, but I have enough of a foundation that if something or somebody tests me, I know how I will respond as myself to that situation because I know that I've honed my own skills in life to be able to get through anything and still stay myself and not compromise myself and stay strong in what I believe in. And I think that that is really the way to be strong in the face of adversity is to, or be brave, as you said, is to be brave in yourself, to know yourself, to truly know yourself. And once you have that solidified, nothing will rock you. Nothing will knock you down. Did that make sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense. I feel enlightened actually. I'm thinking I everything's just thinking in my head right now. That's really good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I mean, I really hope it helps out, but I understand, because it is tough. Somebody comes along and they knock you down or they break your heart or they want to hurt your feelings because they're having a bad day and you want to be a bad person. You want to be nasty. You want to be rude. You want to swear or you want to just back down or curl up in a corner and just like go away, leave me alone. And the world is a tough place to be in, but it's also a beautiful one. So as long as you remember that, like nothing is forever. Bad things don't happen for forever. And you only get as damaged by things as you allow them to damage you. You know,
That's true. That
you can
wow.
always help yourself and heal yourself and keep yourself strong. I know it sucks because it sounds like you're just doing everything by yourself, but in life, you can't always count on everybody because it's good to have friends, it's good to have family that you can talk to, but they don't always understand you. They don't always understand where you're coming from. You never know everybody's perspective. Why do they think that way? Where did they come from? How did they grow up? What was their culture like, et cetera, et cetera. So you really
Yeah.
have to know yourself, and you can have backup from other people, but to really know yourself and be your number one, that's really important in order to be a grown up and be a human being, at least in my experience.
Wow. That makes so much sense. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. That helped a lot actually.
Great. That's really great. Glad that that helped. Did you have anything else to follow that up, or did that pretty much answer your question?
That very much answers the question. But also I think it's would you agree that it's also about being being surrounded with other people who just wants you to be yourself also. I think that's also a big factor. Not well, I know that there's a thing called like your soul family or your chosen families who just wants you to be yourself and you can be yourself around you can be around yourself around them.
I think that like it's even deeper than that. Like, yeah, I totally believe in the soul tribes and being with your people, quote unquote people, right? Your people who
Yes.
understand you and your group. But it's also about people who don't want you to be anything. Like they have no expectations of you. Like they're not expecting you to be anything. They're like, just be yourself because they're just being themselves and you get along because that's what you do. It's like, I feel like soul tribes are a group of people who each have their own strengths and their own identities who then come together as a collective and do something great, you know? Even that if that's just being a big happy family together and being able to function as a group, I feel like that's really what it is. And if you have your soul tribe around you, they don't care. They just want you to be happy, you know? and they want to be happy too. And I think that that's the best kind of people to be around, is people who want to be themselves, who are positive, who uplift you when you need it. And they're just your real friends. Real friends don't want anything from you. You know, real friends are there for you because of who you are.
Yeah, that is true. I agree with that. Well, I have no more questions. Thank you so much. That helped a lot.
All right, Queen. Well, thank you so much for coming on the Zoom call with me today, and I'm really glad that I helped you with your question. And I really hope that when you go away and think about it, that that really kind of sinks in and helps you with being brave in the face of adversity.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. And
Stay
thank you so
safe.
much to everybody who tuned in. This has been Cat Calls. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.